So we're back talking about Bishop, Pastor, Singer Marvin Winans and the church member that got scolded in front of the congregation and the social media communities for giving $1,200, which is a lot of money, instead of 2,000 that he was asking for, or some say demanding. It's taking a twist because she's defending him. When the video started spreading of him scolding her pretty much in front of, maybe it was a grandchild or somebody that she had with her, and I talked about the response, how people in the congregation were giggling and laughing about it. A lot of people, they felt like he was manipulative, arrogant. How dare you? You're so out of touch with people's struggles. You're in Detroit, of all places. But I'm not surprised that she's coming out to, instead of condemn him, defend him. I knew this was going to happen. So she's claiming that the situation was taken out of context and that her pastor was just simply encouraging excellence and obedience. Girl, bye. Let's go ahead and get into this. What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this holy mess. So you can see the church member, the woman at the center of all of this controversy right here. She was on a local news station to pretty much support and defend this clown. So let's just go ahead and get into what she had to say.
You're the woman in that viral video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction, because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction
You're the woman in that viral video.
on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving.
See all of this? This is them putting this PR out there to protect the good bishop, the pastor, the local community church that is so great and has such a call on their lives, a mission from God, or whatever they're trying to say, right? They know that this is damaging, because if they didn't feel like this was damaging, they would not be on a local news station talking about something that happened in their church. Let's be clear about that. So it's not just the woman, it's him too. So this is definitely damage control, okay? So her saying it was correction because he gave specific instructions on which line to get in. Well, it didn't sound like he said, "Okay, sweetie, but you're in the wrong line, but I'll accept this gift and thank you so much." And so what? What are we talking about here?
And it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that. So I was calling them by increments.
Why are you even doing? Let's continue, because I have something to say about that.
And
On the lines to get into.
I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call. And that's all that was.
Roberta told me Pastor Winans personally apologized to her. She's been a member of Perfecting Church since 2013.
I corrected it, and I told
And then this is the clip right here, which I'm not going to play.
everybody to.
But listen, him saying he gave instructions because they have different lines and the whole church was coming, and let's play this again.
Listen and come when you call. And that's all that was.
On the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that. So I was calling them by increments.
So you see what that is? Because he's saying it was our day of giving and we had the different lines and we didn't want the mothers standing. Well, why are they getting in lines to give? Why can't they just put their money or write their debit card or credit card number on an envelope and do it that way? No, you have these lines because you want to have people showcase the amounts of money that they're giving, and the higher amounts are given, the more some people will feel compelled to give higher amounts as well, even if they don't really have it. Because if it was just about, you see, if it was just about they had this specific day set aside to give, but you have them standing in these different lines to give money. No, you want you are using this to put the pressure on other people to give higher amounts of money. And that's what it's about. Because when you're giving in secret, which the Bible actually talks about doing, when you give in secret, God will reward you openly. So the fact that the churches are even doing stuff like this is, in my opinion, them going against what the Bible even speaks to do. Why are they giving openly? It's supposed to be given in secret, even though they technically do have these offering moments where they would pass a bucket around or a plate or whatever. People don't know what you're giving unless you decide to tell somebody, oh, yeah, I put $100 in the plate or in the bucket, today. Nobody knows what you're giving. So to have these lines that people are standing in to give money, you're already going against what the Bible specifically talks about to do anyway. And the fact that people are giving all of this money to this church instead of charities or specific people that they know are in need. A lot of people will give money to the church and won't even give it to their own family. How asinine is that? Charity begins at home and then spread abroad. But then that's why I feel like a lot of these, especially Black churches, they use these manipulation tactics and these manipulative words to get people to do what they need them to do, not just want them to do, what they need them to do, because they need these dollars for them to live the types of lifestyles that they are living. And they rarely really give to the communities themselves. So they will use things like the house of God or this is my church home. They will use words like that to make the people feel like it's personal to them when really it's not. You come there when you come there and you leave when you leave. But then they want you to keep the lights on. They want you to keep the water running. If the church needs a new roof, they want you to give to that. They new building fund that he's had for over 20 something years. Like it's crazy. But then you look at the way that they're living, and a lot of these leaders, so called, they're living these lifestyles that are pretty lavish. So if they really wanted it to be about God's house, so called, then why are you living as lavishly as you are living? And a lot of the people don't live the way that you live, but then you want them to give to this monstrosity of a building that's a huge tax write-off for you. So what Marvin Winans is saying here doesn't even make sense based on what he said to her. And yeah, let's just go ahead and play that again.
Roberta.
Church was sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only 12.
You hear what he said? That's only $1,200.
$1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Did that sound like he said, well, you're not in the correct line, sweetheart, but thank you for giving? No, you're tone deaf. You're, in my personal opinion, a liar. And the truth ain't in you, like the old people used to say. And this is not even godly. Getting in these lines to give money to the church and people, you're announcing what you're giving to the church, all of that is against what the Bible even says to do. So it's all wrong. It's just crazy. But like I said, I am not surprised that she came out to defend him because I talked about the response of the congregation. They laughed, they giggled, they snickered, they kiki, they haha. No one sounded shocked. Yeah, there may have been a few people, but we didn't see it or hear it. Shocked by his behavior and offended by it and decide to get up and leave. Or even this woman to say, well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and take this money back and you have a nice day. So yeah, she can talk about he was correcting her and whatever. It's disgusting. And none of this stuff, in my personal opinion, has anything to do with God. No one is changing the narrative around to try to make him look a certain type of way or to make her look foolish. She made herself look foolish. And all of this for money, all of which the Bible speaks about giving in secret and God rewarding you openly. And you heard the words that she said, I'm giving $1,000 plus 200 and something and receiving the blessings. What? So all of that is just not even biblical. None of it is. So what is he really preaching and teaching over there? I would stay far away from it. A lot of you listening, you probably are smart enough to know that, but unfortunately people like her, and I believe a lot of the people in his congregation are people of a certain age. Not speaking anything over them, but they are people of a certain age. I don't believe that a lot of what they have been able to do for many years is going to be able to continue for much longer because a lot of younger people are not falling for the okey doke like a lot of people of that woman's age and older used to do. So they're not going to be able to keep the grift going for much longer. Seriously. So they're desperate for cash. And I mean, really, who isn't these days? A lot of people really need the money, but that's the thing too. A lot of these people given these large amounts, they can't afford to be giving that money like that to these churches. So they're giving it in hopes that God is going to bless them with more later when you really need more now. And the money that you are giving, you actually needed that to pay your mortgage and other bills with. So that's just not even a God thing. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I want to know what you guys yeah, I want to know what you guys think of her defense of him trying to cover and, you know, make the situation smooth over, even though there's going to be something crazy tomorrow where this is going to be on the back burner. But today, we're bringing it to the forefront again. And I want to know what you guys think about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.